We have way too many Irish and Irish American and wannabe Irish Americans in the House for me to name. But I will say that the next 4 years are shaping up to be very green ones here in the White House. My new Chief of Staff is a McDonough. My National Security Advisor is a Donald. Our new CIA Director is a Brennan. My new head speechwriter is a Keenan. And Joe Biden has very kindly agreed to stay on as Irishman-in-Chief. Joe couldn't be here tonight because he's on his way back from the installation of Pope Francis in Rome. For those of you who know Joe, literally the only thing that could keep him away from St. Patrick's Day at the White House is the installation of a new pope. So he sends his best. You know, ever since the first son or daughter of the Emerald Isle set foot here on American soil, this day has served as a reminder of just how many threads of green are woven into the red, white, and blue. And in times of war and peace, good times and bad, Americans have always found a way to celebrate that heritage. During the Civil War, a quartermaster for the Irish Brigade was sent to Washington to secure a St. Patrick's Day dinner consisting of a side of roasted ox, a pig stuffed with boiled turkeys, and 35 hams. And even during the Great Depression, when food was scarce and families were struggling, a judge in New York informed the district's attorney that he would not try any cases on St. Patrick's Day in which the defendant or the lawyers were Irish. Now, just to be clear, I looked into continuing some of these traditions. No, I could not get the White House chefs to go along, or the Attorney General to go along. So tonight, we're going in a slightly different direction, but we do so mindful of the fact that even in times of trouble, if we're lucky enough to be Irish, even if it's only in spirit, then we're lucky enough, and that's reason to give thanks. Looking out on this room, it's clear just how much America owes to our brothers and sisters from across the Atlantic, and how many of us, myself included, wouldn't be here if it were not for the brave souls who set off for the New World with no earthly idea of what awaited them on the other side. And it's a reminder of just how many trials the people of Ireland have endured, from hunger and troubles to the economic challenges of recent years. It's yet another reason why we need to build an immigration system for the 21st century. It works for families, and businesses, and our economy, but it's also a tribute to the incredible resilience of the Irish character and the enormous power of faith in God, in one another, and in the possibility of a better life. It was that faith that brought millions of Irish to our shores, but that faith alone didn't join our two nations in common cause. It was how the Irish put that faith into practice in their new nation. They wanted a government of and by and for the people, so they helped us design one. They understood the importance of saving the Union, so they fought and died for the cause. They saw potential in our railways, bridges, and skyscrapers, so they poured their sweat and blood into building them. And they believed that each of us has an obligation, not just to ourselves, but to each other and to our country. That's how they lived their lives here in America. A great nation is one that contributes more to the world than it takes out. And by that definition, America owes a profound debt of gratitude to the great nation of Ireland. And together our people have never stopped dreaming of a better future and never stopped working to make that dream a reality. And we saw that again in October when Hurricane Sandy set off one of the worst residential fires in New York City's history. Hundreds of homes were left charred and flooded, and many families were suddenly faced with the task of picking up the pieces and rebuilding their lives, including in Breezy Point, a neighborhood with a large Irish American population. In fact, more than half of Breezy Point residents can trace their families to the old country, and the folks back in the old country were not about to sit by and watch their American brothers and sisters struggle alone. So they pitched in. Gaelic